Welcome aboard the Ear to There podcast, the podcast that'll help you vacation like a pro in any Disney destination. For those of you standing, please sit down and hold on throughout our journey and get ready to learn how to have the time of your life. And now, here's your host, Phil Gramlich.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ear to There podcast. My name is Phil Gramlich, and I am the owner and operator of Ear to There Travel, a Disney specialized travel agency. I'm here to help you vacation like a total pro in any Disney destination, including Walt Disney World, Disneyland, the Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, and Disney's Aulani Resort in Hawaii. You can find my blog, podcast, money-saving tips, or request a free, no-obligation quote over at eartotheretravel.com. Thank you so much for listening, and now on with the show. This week's episode of the Ear to There podcast is somewhat unique and calls for a different kind of introduction. Picture in your head the Magic Kingdom. Now think of which attraction you'd head to first if you were there right now. Now imagine that someone has taken that attraction away from you and you can't experience it. That's what we're going to do in this week's Attractions Draft episode. 3 friends and fellow Disney fanatics have joined me to see who can field the best team of 4 attractions from the Magic Kingdom. Up first, you may remember him. Actually, let me say it like this. Up first, you may remember him from shows like Walt Disney World for Dudes and the Why Did Disney Get Rid of Blank episode. He's an Orlando local, an annual pass holder, and he continues his mission of good vibes and high fives all over the Disney parks. Johnny Shortsleeve, welcome back to the podcast.
Right on, man. Thanks for having me back. I love doing this stuff, so I am always pumped to do these podcasts with you, man. You're doing a fantastic job, by the way. I've been listening start to finish with all your episodes. I love what you're doing, man. Keep up the good work.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks for coming back on. And that was my Lionel Hutz intro. I messed it up in the beginning, so I tried to fix it. But I think it did okay. All right, so next up is making your third appearance on the podcast is a fellow Disney fan, a mom, a distance runner, and someone who might take you down if you cut her off in a Disney race. Allie Miller, welcome back to the podcast.
I do that one time, and you're never going to let me live it down.
No, never. That's absolutely correct. Thank you for coming back on. I really do appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right, and last but not least is the man behind the popular Disney fan site and podcast, The World of Walt. He's a man who enjoys the finer things in Walt Disney World, like the King Cupcake and dried packaged squid from Epcot's China Pavilion. Mr. Herb Leibacher, welcome back.
Thanks, Phil. I never met a squid I didn't like.
That's the first time that's ever been said in the history of man, I think.
I think so. That could be my new tagline.
All right. Well, thanks again, Herb, for coming back on. All right, so let's get right into it. It's going to be a fantasy baseball or football style draft where you have 10 seconds to make your pick. And as I told you guys before, yes, I will be timing you. All right, so the goal here is to field your best possible team of Magic Kingdom attractions. I'm going to list our individual teams in this week's show notes, and listeners can vote on who they think puts together the best team. So there's a random order that I picked out of my Mickey years before the show, and it goes like this. All right, so the owner of the number 1 pick is, drumroll, please, I can't say it right, please. Allie, you are the winner of the first pick.
Score.
Number 2, the owner of the second pick is Herb. You're going to be making a second pick.
All right.
Number 3 is going to be me. And unfortunately, Johnny, you are going to have the 4th pick in the draft today.
Wait, I stapled a $20 bill in my application when I need to do a hunter spot to get up here in the top pick. What's going on, man?
Yeah, you know what? It was the Mickey ears / the computer generated randomizer that I have, and that's what we got. So sorry about that.
I smell a rat.
Yeah, or a mouse. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. We're not gonna waste any time here. Allie, you are on the clock. Magic Kingdom attractions, first round, first pick, 10 seconds, go.
I'm going to go with Astro Orbiter.
Wow.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, nice. Did not see that coming. It's the first overall pick. Why the Astro Orbiter?
I will tell you why. Because it does not get the credit it deserves. This is a hardcore attraction. If you ride it at night, you are going to see sights like you have never seen. And I mean, come on, the elevator, really? That's an attraction in and of itself. But yeah, man, being up in those spaceships, overhead of Tomorrowland and the lights, and you can see the castle all lit up from there. And when there's fireworks, you can't beat it. Not going to get that anywhere else.
Yeah, you're right. That is a cool one. That is a really unexpected number one pick. I have to say, I don't know what you guys think about that. I was expecting kind of a headliner with that first one. But Astro Orbiter is a very cool, unique first pick.
I like the reason too from the views you get up there. It is amazing. So that is a good reason. So I like that choice.
I like the point about nighttime as well, because Tomorrowland is a completely different experience at night versus day, and so it's a great time to visit there.
Yeah, I completely agree. You're right. The nighttime is, well, so many things are better at night in Magic Kingdom, but Tomorrowland especially. So all right, Allie, thanks. That was a really cool pick for number one. So the number two overall pick, Herb, you're on the clock. 10 seconds. Go.
I'm going to Pirates of the Caribbean. It's the attraction that spawned a movie that updated the attraction. It's an original story. It's a unique ride through, and I think it's a must-do for any trip to the Magic Kingdom, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I mean, just think of the iconic lines, right, from Pirates. You get, "We once the redhead." You get, I can't do the accent. The "Don't be cheekin'" lady. Carlos, don't be
cheekin'.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, you're right. You really can't beat Pirates.
And the wife chasing the husband in a circle with the broom.
Yeah, which used to be...
That's my favorite.
Which used to be different. It used to be the pirate chasing the lady around. Do you guys remember that?
I do. We're more politically correct now.
Yeah, yeah. You can't have a guy...
Women's lib.
Yeah, you can't have a guy chasing a woman around. No way.
Plus, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the cannon fire, does it seem a little more intense now than it used to be?
You will get wet. Yeah.
Yeah, the explosions, the little air blasts with the water. It's pretty much a guarantee, like you said, Herb. You get a little splash from that, and the sound you can feel like it almost was like a sound like through a speaker before. Now it's like real air getting blown out of a cannon.
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
It's cool. I like that effect. How they've kind of plussed it a little bit.
Yeah.
To use Disney speak.
Yeah, plus it up.
Oh, and Davy Jones' face on the water curtain.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah. Ooh, and I don't know if you all have noticed this. You know how once you go right through that water curtain and you kind of start floating, you're floating through, and you're coming up to that part where there's that little kind of beach where there's the mermaid skeleton.
Right.
Have you guys ever noticed the rock formation as soon as you're floating up to that beach? There's like a cluster of like 5 or 6 rocks that as you look at it from as soon as you go through the water curtain, it's the shape of a skull. And then as you get up and start to make the right turn to go around that little area where the skeleton is, it breaks up. And you can see it's like 6 different rock formations.
Wow.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I've never noticed that before.
Yeah,
Wow.
So that's a research trip for you, Phil. Get down here.
Yeah, I'm coming next month.
There you go, man.
Yeah, I have to find a reason to keep coming back down there, right? The rocks. That's what I'll tell my wife. I'm coming down by myself because I have to check out the rocks and the shells of Pirates. I have to get a picture of that for my website. Yeah. All right, so Pirates is the number 2 pick and Herb's first pick. So I'm up. I don't need the 10 seconds. I'm going to tell you right now. Splash Mountain is my first pick. To me, it is the ultimate Disney attraction experience. Okay, it's a great story. It's told really, really, really well. There's huge thrills with a big drop at the end. Great characters. The music is timeless. And it's iconic, right? I mean, if you see a picture of Splash Mountain, you obviously instantly know what it is. You really can't beat it. And you think it's over, right? You go down the big drop at the end, down Chickapin Hill, right? I think it's called. And then you think it's over. You're like drying yourself off, and then it finishes out in that huge finale with the ferry boat and all the animals and the birds and all singing on it. You can't beat Splash Mountain for me.
And they've recently, I've been over there the last couple of weeks. They're starting to do the thing again, which it seemed like for the longest time they weren't, where you could be standing there at the little observation bridge, and every like third log that goes down, you get splashed.
Yeah.
They seemed like for a long time that wasn't happening, but now they're doing it again.
Yeah, I love that. And people stand there in the summer especially and you just get destroyed with water. such a cool thing that cool little effect that they had. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember the last time I saw that.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if the lawyers got involved with it for a while. They seem to sometimes shut things down, but yeah, so that's back. If that's something that people are missing, it's back.
I like the zippity doo-dah ending to that attraction as well. I mean, you can't help but exit with a smile on your face.
And that song stuck in your head for the rest of the day.
That's right.
Song of the South is one of my favorite movies, and I just love those characters, so you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, Song of the South is one too that you'll never see because you can't get it anywhere unless I think it's on YouTube. You can look it up and find it, but for the most part, that's one that's been deemed not very non-PC, and well, we don't have to get into that, but it is a good movie to see if you haven't seen it. So all right, so from where were we? Splash Mountain. We're going to the last pick of the first round, and Johnny, we're over to you.
All right, before you hit the stop clock. All right, hold on, Coach.
Okay, you got it.
Let me tell you what my plan is. I'm laying my cards on the table right now. This is my strategy for my draft.
All right.
I had it all beautifully laid out last night, and I said I'm ready to rock. Let's do this. I get a phone call from my friend. He says, "Hey, man, I'm coming down with my wife and my kid." He has a 6-year-old daughter. He and his wife had been down to Disney when they were kids, but this is the first time since they were adults, and obviously the first time for their daughter. So he said, "Hey, what do you think? What should we do?" And I said, "Tell you what, I'm going to redo my list. I'm getting ready to do on a podcast tomorrow. You have to listen in on the podcast, and this is what I'm going to choose." So my drafts, in my list right here, it's based on what I'm going to recommend to these people when it's time for them to come down here and visit the Magic Kingdom. And so it may not be my personal first pick, but this is going to be kind of laid out, I guess we should say, in a way that I'm going to recommend to somebody who's coming for a first time with a young-ish child. So, all right, you ready for the stop clock now? I'm ready to fire it off.
I feel like I don't even need to hit the 10-second buzzer, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm locked and loaded, man. I got one in the chamber ready to go.
All right, let's go. What do you got?
All right, first round draft pick for me. Meeting Mickey Mouse at the Town Square Theater.
Nice.
Now, this to me is such an amazing experience. Not only for somebody who's coming to the Magic Kingdom for the first time, like in the case of my friend's daughter, but someone like me, I go to this thing and bring my kids there to see Mickey Mouse at least maybe once every few months or so. It is an amazing experience because for the most part, you will get a chance to meet Mickey when he is up for talking to you. Of course, when you work 365 days a year nonstop, I don't know how he gets, the union hasn't bailed him out on that. He works 365 days a year. Sometimes his voice gets a little hoarse. He doesn't feel like talking. That's okay though. But it's an air-conditioned meet and greet, which is a really special thing if you have a child or if you yourself as an adult are into meet and greets. Many of them are out in the open in the elements, so you get a little bit warm and toasty when you're standing there not moving. So this is indoors. It's air conditioned. There's a neat theme and story about Mickey Mouse is this magician. He's putting on a magic show. There's a lot of neat little story elements that they put into the queue that kind of as you're waiting and going through the line that you can be a part of. And what's neat is this is one of those meet and greets where I always tell people, and I'm telling it to my buddy who's listening right now, don't just take still pictures. You got to take videos because the reaction of whether it be your child or yourself or your friend, your spouse, or whoever you're with, is priceless. When Mickey turns and says, "Well, you're here," and starts to converse. It literally, I got chills down my spine right now thinking about it. It is such a cool experience. So that's going to be my first thing to tell them is as soon as you pass through the gate, you tapped your magic band, beeline right there for the Town Square Theater to meet Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, man. I love that pick because that's one, as you guys know, I have, 3 kids, 5 and under. That's what we do. We get there at park opening and we walk through the gates and make an immediate right and we'll hit Mickey Mouse first, and then we'll do Tinkerbell second. It's just a really unique experience. Where else are you going to meet Mickey Mouse, who, like you said, talks most of the time? It's just a really, really fun thing. And I think the story does get lost a little bit, but it is a really neat if you pay attention to the details and surroundings, it's a really cool story too that the Imagineers are telling in that attraction. Plus, I mean, once in a while, if you can't promise this, but from what I experienced, Mickey will say names. He'll actually call out your name if it's not an outrageously difficult name or not a very common name. Like my name is Phil, so he has said Phil to me, and it blew my mind. I'm standing there and just all of a sudden you're 5 years old and you can't believe that Mickey just said your name.
Yeah, no, that is mind blowing.
It's really cool. The technology's awesome with that.
Yeah, I think the technology is good. I think this is maybe a picture of the future of Disney attractions because of how interactive and personalized it is. Just a great experience.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, so we are now. I'm forgetting the order. Now we're going back to. We're in round number 2 here, and Allie, we're coming back to you for your second pick. 10 seconds.
Okay.
Go.
My second pick is the Festival of Fantasy Parade.
Nice.
And I'm going to give you my favorite little secret is go on Thursday and stand out near the Christmas shop. And that's where they have the deaf and hard of hearing section, and they have the sign language interpreters. And whether you know ASL or not, that is an incredible show within a show to watch those people interpret that parade. Wow. You cannot even imagine. It's beautiful. So I'm going to let everyone just go soak that up.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had that there, that they had an interpreter there.
Is that only on Thursdays, Allie?
Each park has its own day or days. I know for sure they do it on Thursdays. But if you go to the Disney website, you can look it up. But each park has a certain day or days that they have shows and attractions interpreted and fully accessible for the deaf and hard of hearing.
Wow, that's really cool.
And yeah, it's incredible. And these are some of the best interpreters I've ever seen, and they are clearly having a blast. And it's just beautiful, whether you know the language or not. So.
And if you're an amateur photographer, this is probably one of the best things, subjects in the parks to work with in terms of honing your craft. Because there's a group called Disney Colors, and I'm not the right person to speak on what they do and how you get involved in that. But if you look on Instagram, a lot of people who are a part of that group take some amazing pictures of that parade because, it's in the daylight, so great sunlight, so it's very bright. Plus, the characters in the parade are dressed very vibrant colors and very beautiful costumes. So they're very photogenic. So you can take some amazing pictures with that, and they're very expressive in their faces. So it's kind of hard to take a bad picture of that parade, but that's definitely a cool one to check out.
Yeah, you're right. I have seen that on Instagram too, that the Disney Colors thing, and I've tried. I like to think that I'm somewhat of a amateur photographer. I think once in a while I bought a nice camera and a tripod, so I look like I know what the heck I'm doing when I'm in the parks. I really don't. I just put this tripod down, keep changing the settings, and then snap away. And once in a while I get a good one. But you're right. That you see that on Instagram all the time. That parade's always, every single day. There's hundreds of pictures of that parade.
Did you have problems sneaking the tripod through security?
No, they were cool when I brought it last time.
Just when they saw you on Big Thunder Mountain and you had that thing held out with your arm like a big giant selfie stick. That's when.
Yeah, that would probably be a problem for me.
We've heard about the 3-month refurb on that, right? It's because Phil knocked it over.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so going from selfie sticks and my broken arm and destroying Thunder Mountain, we're going to go to Herb for your second pick. 10 seconds, go.
All right, I'm glad this one is still available because I am going to go to Liberty Square and the Haunted Mansion. I got it. So the technology is tried and true, but this is an attraction that has stood the test of time. Amazing theming, great story, and really just iconic Disney. So Haunted Mansion is number 2 for me.
Yeah, iconic is the exact word I was going to use. It is the attraction that has everything. And then it starts too when you make that turn into Liberty Square and you see it in the distance, like that's where the story starts for me. It's that. And by the way, can we really quickly talk about the story of Haunted Mansion? Because I've asked like people what like the storyline is, and nobody seems to know. Right? Like the story changes all the time. There's no like set like story. It's not linear at all. It's just kind of all over the place.
Wait, didn't you see the Eddie Murphy movie?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
that didn't clear
Did
it
anyone?
up for you?
Because I'm pretty
like
sure
it.
that wasn't on the best movies you've never seen podcast.
That was not.
I liked it. I thought it had its place. It wasn't Pirates of the Caribbean, but it was charming.
Or it wasn't Tower of Terror.
Oh well, no, that's a totally another league there.
But yeah, it's a kind of it's an attraction that is awesome and iconic and everything about it. The music, the queue itself. I mean, it's to the ghosts at the end. It's just an iconic attraction. But you never get anyone to say, okay, this is the story. This is what's going on in this attraction. It's kind of like a mishmash, and nobody has the exact like storyline like written out. I've tried to find it, and it's just not. It's not available.
So I got a funny quick story about it. And this kind of plays to the fight. There's just so many, like, it's like urban legends or it's like parables, like handed down by word of mouth about like the storyline and some of the elements of the show and the actual attraction. Somebody told me one time, in the stretching room, if you are one of the last guests in the stretching room as the other guests are entering to the area where they load on the doom buggies, you will hear the ghost host say, "Get out." So I said, I got to see this. I got to see what this is all about. So I go and I'm standing in the stretching room. All the guests leave. And then there's the cast member and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him and I'm waiting to hear the voice. And he comes over to me and says, "Sir, this way, please." I said, "I'm sorry. I'm waiting to hear the voice say, 'Get out.'" And he looks around and he goes, "Well, get out." Well, no.
Ever eager to please.
It wasn't your voice. I mean, but Ghost host to say it. And I just I got to try this again another time. He's not digging it. But I haven't had a chance to hear it yet, so I don't know. But it speaks to that. There's so many little stories about, what does this mean or how is that translated? Right. And I think that's the kind of cool thing about it is you almost can, like a book, you kind of come to your interpretation and, if there's an ending that maybe kind of that's left you hanging, what do you think that means? Or like the ending of The Sopranos. Is Tony still alive? I don't know.
He's dead. Come on, this isn't a spoiler. The guy's definitely dead. The lights, like what's his name? Bobby Bacala said earlier in the series, when you die, it's just black. It's nothing. Nothing happens. You don't see it coming. It's just black. He's dead.
So you see, so you're saying I shouldn't be holding out for a movie?
Well, not now, I guess.
James Gandolfini died, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that would be a difficult one to make at this point.
Yeah,
it's like Tupac. I mean, he's gonna come.
Yeah, we'll have James Gandolfini in a hologram form in the Sopranos movie. Yeah, but no, the ring, by the way, like that's another one. The wedding ring or the engagement ring that's in the concrete outside the Haunted Mansion.
Is that still there?
Yeah, but they replaced it with, right? Didn't they? Herb, you probably, I know it was originally just it was like a placeholder for like a pole for the queue, and people made up a story that it was a ring that the bride threw from the building at night or something. And then I thought, tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought that Disney, when they refurbed it a few years ago, they went back and added an actual ring to the concrete. Am I wrong?
That's a story that I heard as well. Yeah, that it sort of started out as just a cut-off pipe, and then it actually became part of the mythology that Disney added it back in. And I do think the attraction is a bit of a mismatch. So what I heard during the development process was some of the Imagineers said, well, this should be a spooky haunted house. And some people said, well, this should be an upbeat, funny haunted house. And it's really kind of both. It starts off spooky and then it ends up more fun. And so I think there are a lot of things, just like Johnny said, that you can read into this. And it is something of a mismatch. It's part of the charm.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that, Herb, because I'm a friend of mine who I'm not allowed to talk about, and if he's listening to this, he's going to be like, dude, don't mention me on your podcast ever again. but he works in Disneyland, and he was a long-time cast member. I worked with him at on my college program, and then when I was an hourly cast member at Disney, and he got a private tour of the Haunted Mansion out in Disneyland when he first moved out there last year, and they told him that like certain Imagineers worked on certain parts of Disneyland's Haunted Mansion, and that's why like the one part scary and the one part silly, because they were working independently of each other, and then they put it all together, and that's where like the different Imagineers kind of styles, can kind of show through. So yeah, that's just a cool thing, and Herb, I don't like that you stole the Haunted Mansion from me, but whatever, we'll go. My next one, I'm on the clock, 10 seconds. I don't need them. My next pick is Peter Pan's Flight. Talk about iconic, like we were with Haunted Mansion. It's as iconic as a Disney attraction can be. Flying out the Darling nursery window past Nana, past her doghouse, then over the streets of London at night, and then Big Ben, everything. You can't have like a more magical experience to not sound, to sound as corny as I possibly can. It really is like a magical experience. My kids love it. I don't think there's anyone who's ever gone to that attraction and gotten off and been like, nah, that was lame. I don't like it. No, it's great. And it's seconds long, right? It's like 90 seconds or something like that. And maybe a little longer than that. But it's such a cool, iconic Disney attraction.
Yeah, I agree. I think the queue leading into it now adds a bunch, and there's always a huge line. And I'm sure some of that is just capacity, but I think some of it is the fact that this one has stood the test of time. Even though the effects are simple, the story is great, and this idea that you can fly, I think, is appealing and has been for a long time and still will be.
That's what I forgot
to mention. And that view as you go over London, you just can't beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I forgot to mention too was the queue. That adds a whole new element to the attraction itself. It's because
I don't even bother doing the fast pass anymore for that. I like the queue. I don't mind doing standby because it's so fun.
Yeah, and remember, I mean, the old days, like it was so long ago, but that was one of the hottest queues on the planet. And now with it being inside and air conditioned, it's really feels like the wait's so much like shorter than it actually is.
Yeah. And what kid has not dreamed about flying, just like Allie said? I mean, that's something we all dreamed about, and to actually be able to experience it, I think is a big reason why this is a winner.
Yeah, completely agree. And about the flying thing, I always did. I was like the superhero fan growing up, always wishing I was like Superman and stuff. But yeah, it's cool to get to do that. And I love the technology of that. I don't know. Is that on any other attraction in all of Disney where it's like I forget what they call that system, where you're connected at the top and then you fly over the attraction? I know they do it like at E.T., I think, at Universal, but I don't know if any other Disney attraction has that.
None that I can
guess
think of.
The closest thing would be Soarin', but that's totally different. It's not moving. It's kind of just swinging you up.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm just going off on a tangent. Okay.
That's neat. I'd never thought about that. That's a good observation.
Just off the top of my head, that might be edited out of the podcast. Okay.
No, man, that's a good noodle scratcher, man. That's
true. All right, so now we're going back to Johnny, right? You're up for is it your second pick?
Second round. I'm happy to say no one's taken my second round pick yet, so I'm pretty pumped about this. Second round, I'm picking Enchanted Tales with Belle, and I think my friends.
That's a big reaction from the peanut butter.
Wow, man.
All right,
sorry,
you won it fair and square.
That's how we do it here in the draft, down and dirty. No apologies. So I chose this one for them. I know again, my list is kind of tailored to my friends bringing their daughter for the first time, but I actually like this one. My kids love it. The reason I like this is because, live in Orlando. It's not that far to drive to visit the parks. It's amazing, though, even though it is a short drive for me to go and take a visit for the day, I feel like I am in a total different world when I'm there. And this is a perfect example of it, this attraction right here, because you basically feel like you are walking through the village where Belle and her father live. And So you're walking up to Maurice's cottage, and you get to go inside, see his workshop. There's a special thing. I don't want to spoil it for my buddy and say it here because I know he's going to listen. He promised me he would. There's a really cool thing that happens once you've gone to the workshop, and then the meat and potatoes of the actual attraction, the act of telling the story with Belle and Lumiere. And it's so amazing because even though my kids have done it a bunch of times, it's such an amazing experience for them to actually be there with Belle telling a story. And it's taking a meet and greet to a totally different level because, a meet and greet's great. You get a chance to interact for a couple minutes and say hello, take some pictures. But you're actually like doing stuff with a very iconic character. To me, that's mind blowing as a parent. I can't imagine what that feels like as a child. But so
I can, because every time I go, I get picked to be the wardrobe. Seriously,
it's a compliment.
But it's funny. Like when you see, you can tell there's obviously always going to be families in that are seeing this for the first time. You can tell like they are just blown away, just start to finish. It's just nonstop. Like, ooh, wow, holy smokes, that's cool. Oh, it is, in my opinion, is one of their must-dos. They've got to get to see this. I love it. I think it's great. And so that you know what? I have this idea. Now, Disney, is anyone in Disney's listening to this? You can steal my idea. I have no use for it. You know how everyone kind of jokes about there's gift shops at the end of every attraction at Disney? But, there really isn't. But there's, a bunch of them. They need to put a gift shop at the beginning of this attraction. It could be like sponsored by Kleenex. And like they have all the different Kleenex dispensers, different, design tissues. And because you're going to need it. I mean, this is a tearjerker if you're a parent.
And
so
it starts in the cottage.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the picture of her with her mom?
Yes.
Gets me every time.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's move on. Seriously, it is. It's a very emotional experience to go through this and to see, for you with your children. So Kleenex, Disney, get on it, make some money. You're welcome.
Yeah, I got to do it with. We do it every trip. Like I said, we have little kids, but my daughter, I guess this was silly of me not to expect it, but my daughter got to play the Beast. On one of our viewings of this show, attraction, however you want to say it, and I guess it was, like I said, it was silly of me to not think that they would pick a girl to play the Beast, but she was super excited, and they have the cast members who were really great in that attraction have kids do things to try to pick them out of the show, so they asked the kids to do their best roar, and man, she was into it. She was 4, and she gave her biggest, loudest roar that she could get in her Cinderella dress. And she got to play the Beast, and they put the cape on her. And then the neatest thing is it's like Johnny was saying, it's your kids or the kids that you're watching are experiencing this, and they're in it. Like this is the first time Belle has ever done this, and they're there and they're experiencing it, and it's amazing. And my daughter got to dance with Belle in front of like this whole ballroom full of people, and I have the video, and I have it on my phone, and I saved it on my computer, and then like an external hard drive just in case I would lose both of those, because it is one of my favorite moments from Disney ever. It's just and people will say it's a glorified meet and greet, and it's not. It's not a glorified meet and greet. It's really, this sounds like such a Disney commercial, by the way, but it is. It's just an amazing experience. If you have kids, and even if you don't, just to watch the expressions and the reactions on the kids, it's just amazing.
Well, and I don't think of it as a commercial. I'm gonna beat that point for a second, because and this is the reason why I love talking to people like my friends who I've been mentioning nonstop in this. I want other people to have the same experience that I have.
Right.
Like I don't want to hold that as a secret. Like that, I don't think of any of this as an ad for Disney. I think it's just, sharing some great information to, and anytime anyone has a tip for me about how to be a better parent or how to enjoy life a little more, I want to know it. And this is, I think, exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. I was the one who groaned actually when Johnny said that, because I wanted to have this one. Yeah, I just think this has got it all, but in the end, it comes down to making a memory with your family, and one that, whether it's you're watching your kids or you're just enjoying what everyone else is doing, there's just something heart touching about this one.
Yeah, Herbert was on my list too, so don't feel bad. I was like it was probably going to be my next one. It really is. It's just the Imagineers kind of hit a home run with this one. I think it's something that, like I said, even if you don't have kids, it's really, really worth the I like Allie was saying, I do like walking through the cottage and the queue, but it's also nice to have a fast pass for this one because it's the lines can get a little bit long. So just if you're listening, try to do that one on your next trip.
And I'm glad it made it in the second round because this is an attraction that you don't hear a lot of people talk about,
right?
In terms of it's on the guide maps and it was the big deal when New Fantasyland opened a few years ago, but from here on out, it's not. I don't know why. I mean, tell me if you guys disagree, but it doesn't seem like it's risen to this level of like e-ticket or top marquee level discussions.
Yeah, no, you're right. Is it because I wonder if it's because it is kind of tucked away. There's no big show building. There's no big sign.
There's no sign.
No, you would never. Like I was just saying it. There's the little tiny sign. You would never even know it was there.
Right.
You definitely wouldn't know it's an attraction like it is with the technology and the special effects. You would never guess that from the exterior of the attraction, I don't think.
Right.
No, and the first time I went there, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, and then you go in and you're blown away.
And you're blown away,
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah.
It's really, really a cool attraction. All right, so enough about that Enchanted Tales of Belle. As great as it is, we have to move on. And we're going to the third round. Allie, you're up. You're on the clock. 10 seconds.
Space Mountain.
Nice.
Boom. All right, so this was my inside pick because I picked an outside and inside, a show and a parade because I'm building a well-rounded team here. And so this is my inside ride because it's dark, it's epic, and it's fast. It's a headliner. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, good call. And it's my favorite statistic about Space Mountain is you say it's fast and it's like 26 miles an hour.
It feels fast.
I don't know. It blows me away that it's like it's only 26 miles an hour. I think that number's right because you feel like you're going so much faster, especially if you're in the front row with I love, if you're sitting in the front and you can't see your hand in front of your face and then you hit, the best is when you hit one of those quick uphill, when you shoot uphill and you're just laughing your butt off. And I love that. It's such a great pick.
Am I going to lose man points if I say this one freaks me out? Because and it scares me because all right, I'll have to make up some man points. I'll go tool around in the garage.
We're talking about the guy who's on the last podcast we did together. You're the guy's guide to Disney or the dude's guide to Disney. You picked a spa, so now we're going from the spa to losing. Yeah. To being freaked out on Space Mountain. Yeah, you lose.
Well, let me tell you why I'm freaked out because I'm 6 feet 0 inches, and I like to say 6 foot 0 because I feel like I'm slighted. Because if you're 5'11", you're 5'11". You're 6 feet. You don't get to say how many inches you are. I'm 6 foot 0 inches. I have this fear that I'm going to bang my head. I'm not as tall as some people, but I'm tall enough to realize I'm probably pretty close to smacking my head. If I had the lights on and saw this thing, it would really totally mess with me. That's it. I don't like fast attractions. It's just there's this thing like, what if I'm not all the way in the seat? What if I slide out just a little bit?
Have you gone through with the lights on?
I've seen it with the lights on from the Tomorrowland Transit Authority, the People Mover.
Right.
I've never been on the ride with the lights on, though.
Yeah. So I think I have gone through with the lights on, ridden it with the lights on. It happened in the middle of a ride that I was on once. I think if you experience that, you probably never ride it again. Because I'm 5'7", 5'7" and I felt like I was going to hit my head on the games. So now I'll never ever put my hands up on that attraction ever. Just not to scare you.
Do they wait? Refresh my memory, because do they say anything about that? Like the warning, put your hands up?
No, I don't think so. I mean, just the standard, keep your hands and feet in the vehicle at all times. That's what every attraction is.
So you know how fast it goes. Do you know what the max clearance is on any of those low hanging sections?
I wish I did, but you're asking me.
That's a great trivia question.
That is. I don't know the answer to that one. Herb, do you?
I don't, but I have to imagine that the fine Disney lawyers have done a lot of studies on this, and we're all safe, really.
Well, they did the study in '75 when they did it, and the average was 5'6".
People were shorter.
Yeah, that was before.
This is true, actually.
I would have been told back then.
Beef, like everyone's a giant.
Like half a generation ago.
Yeah, all the garbage.
There were tall people in the 70s.
Yeah, not like they are now, man. But yeah, no, you're right, Allie. And Herb, I think you're both right. It's, if you said, hey, we got to go write, I'll write it. It's just not one of my first picks because I just have that fear getting, checking out early. Got a lot to do still.
You just have to scrunch down in real small.
Yeah, slide under, tuck my head under.
Yeah, that's one of the attractions where there's really not a whole lot of leg room, though. Where are you going to go? Like, I find that I don't have a whole lot of leg room on that attraction, so I can't even imagine that you would have much at all.
Definitely not, on Dapper Day, I wouldn't go there with my Mr. Peanut top hat and monocle. that Abe Lincoln chapeau would definitely get knocked off.
All right.
Do not take your animatronics on this ride.
All right, so from Space Mountain, Herb, this is you're up, you're on the clock, your third pick. What do you got?
All right, so I'm struggling a little bit, but I think I am going to stay in Tomorrowland, and I'm going to go to the Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. Nice. So I love the fact that it's a different show every time. I like the audience interaction. I've never had the chance to be that guy, but maybe someday I will be that guy. I just think it's a fun show, interesting design, great technology and graphics. Love Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, so that guy, right? That's the guy that gets picked on basically throughout the entire show. That they keep putting you on the screen, and you have to do. Usually, that guy is like the grouchy guy in the audience who doesn't do or say a whole lot. He's kind of sits and stares at the camera.
Yeah.
I haven't been that guy. I have been. You guys know me. You know what I look like. I have been Mike Wazowski on that attraction, which is a lot of fun because I'm bald and then they say the guy said, or the cast member said, you're Mike, it's Mike Wazowski, and he showed me and he said, no, Mike has one eye and you have to close your one eye. So then every time they show you on camera, you have to like kind of blink, and it's fun. And we have they get requests from the audience for jokes that they do on the laugh floor, and my daughter, actually, the last time we were on, got her joke picked. So that was like the most exciting thing that's ever happened to her. Excuse me, to her.
What would you guys say is a good minimum age to go there? I mean, obviously, my friend with his 6-year-old would probably enjoy it. But where do you think is the baseline for kids who can get all the jokes and understand that the humor that goes in there? Is it 7, 8? Where do you guys think?
How old is Phil?
Well done.
That was fast.
Now I refuse to answer the question. Well, my daughter's 5, and she gets some of the jokes. She didn't get all of them, but she got some. So I would think, 6, 7 years old, you'd be fine.
Yeah, they're starting to have a sense of humor, and they can pick up on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, again, not to make it about me again, but my daughter, she tells jokes all day. She loves telling jokes, I think, because I do, but none of them make any sense whatsoever. She writes her own material, and it's not great.
Well, none of Mitch Hedberg's jokes make sense, but they're funny.
That's true. I got to think of one for this podcast.
You got time, man. 10 seconds.
I do not have one. I don't have one written. So, but yeah, no.
Don't you have the successory Mitch Hedberg posters, Triumph? It has the picture of him and has one of his quotes underneath it.
I wish I did have that on hand. What's funny is I could probably go through one of his entire sets right now, but I don't have a joke that's relatable to this. So
there's time.
All right. So Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor is that's awesome. It's a really cool pick, Herb. So all right, so I'm gonna go with my next one, And I'm really excited that no one's picked this one. And no one has, right? Big Thunder Mountain, no one's picked it?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm surprised. All right, so my next pick, my third pick in the draft is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It's not the most intense roller coaster out there. It's pretty tame as far as roller coasters go. I think the most intense part of it is how you're thrown kind of side to side in a car every turn that you have. But I did a poll on Facebook, on my Facebook page, and we had people vote every day. And this actually won Best Roller Coaster in Walt Disney World, at least according to the people that read my Facebook posts. It's a great ride. It really is. And I'm so excited that it's going to go down for refurbishment because I'm hoping, I have my fingers crossed, that they're going to add the effects that they added out in Disneyland on Big Thunder Mountain. And those new effects really, really enhance the ride. And it's just a really cool experience now there's video screens and special effects in the tunnels and really, really neat. So I'm hoping they add all that to it.
Well, you want to talk about intensity. Be a 6'0" tall parent with a 40-some inch child, and you have that single bar. So it's like smashed on your legs, and then your child has like a whole bunch of travel between the knees and the bar. Yeah. And you start whipping around those corners, and you're not only trying to hold on for yourself, but you see your child go flying. You're like, oh no, like this is not good. Like that, there's like an extra layer of intensity. So my advice is any adult who says, it's not that bad. No, go take your kid on there with you, or take your niece or your nephew or someone else's kid and keep them safe. Like that there's your intensity bump right there.
No, you're right. You end up crushing the child that you're next to for the entire ride.
Yep. And magic is centrifugal forces. That's right.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, again, my wife freaks out on that ride because she can't handle roller coasters at all. So we took our daughter on it last time, and because the 3-year-olds can't ride it just yet, but she loved it. So kids can ride it, but yeah, they might get a little beaten up on this one.
I always enjoy looking for the guy in the bathtub, and I cannot always find him. So it's a challenge for me every time.
Yeah, I never can find that guy.
Do we know if he has an official name?
I don't know.
Because when we ride on the train, you can see him from the train when you leave Frontierland Station. I always go to my kids and say hi to Elmer, and it just seems like an Elmer to me. I don't know why.
I'm good with Elmer.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Elmer from here on out. I'm going to actually
Elmer de la Bathtub.
If it sticks, it's like how like all the urban legends with all the Haunted Mansion stuff. If that sticks, it started right here.
Yeah, if you get a few people to hear you saying that, then they'll start telling other people, and before you know it, man, that'll be on the internet. That'll be on Wikipedia.
That Walt Disney himself named the guy Elmer de la Bathtub.
Yeah. Yes. All right, and by the way, guys, that's a really cool one to do at night too. I feel like Thunder Mountain's a completely different attraction at night, with like the lighting effects and just when you go inside the caverns, how pitch black it is. It's a really, really completely different experience at night. I think it's a little better. So all right, so that was my third pick. Now we're going back to Johnny for the final pick in round 3. 10 seconds, although I don't think you'll need them.
No, man, I got this one ready. I got it locked down. All right, this is a crazy one, and crazy in terms of I guarantee no one had this on their list. The Flag Retreat in Town Square on Main Street, USA. Wow. Yes, this is an attraction. Even if it's not on the guidebook as an attraction, I am calling this an attraction because I feel like this is something that every family should experience. Now, in case anyone who's listening to this doesn't know what this is, I'll give you a 30-second synopsis. 5:00 in the evening every day, they do a flag retreat. I don't think they do it in the rain, though. I'll take that back. I'm not 100% sure. But what they do is at 5:00, they have a ceremony where they bring out some of the musicians from the marching band, and they have basically a ceremony of bringing the flag down for the day. And they will select one guest at random who is a veteran, either an active duty military or someone who's retired from the military, to preside over the ceremony. And if you've ever seen this or any official military ceremony, it's emotional to me because you have this sense of pride in your country when you see this. This is something that, I think in the day and age of all the stuff that's going on these days, politically, you can kind of put all that stuff aside and say, you know what, this is a pretty darn amazing country that we live in. And we really do need to be grateful and thankful for the people that protect us and serve us. And when you see that veteran that they plucked out of the crowd, and when you go, you don't go there with the expectation, boy. It's kind of like me. You don't go to the park and go, man, I wonder if today's gonna be my day to be picked to be that guy. In the Monster Seek level. Yeah, I don't think I would be surprised if any veteran goes and say, I wonder if today's gonna be the day I get picked for the flags. I think it's just it's a very random thing. And you can tell they have so much pride in being that person who's been selected to preside over that ceremony, to help with the flag folding and presenting it. And you see people, if there's people who are active, they're saluting, or even if there's civilians, they're saluting, their hand over the heart. It's something that I think is great, and this is the reason why it's on my list for my friend. And I say this is a great thing for a 6-year-old child to kind of see and kind of get that burned into your psyche, that this is something you respect and you honor the people who do serve this country. So that's why that made it on my list. I think it's a very amazing thing that anybody should see if they haven't seen already.
Yeah, I be honest with you, I can't add anything. That was really well said. So
beautiful, man.
Yeah, no, it really is, and I remember seeing it when I was a cast member years ago, and we just saw it on our last trip. I took pictures of it, tweeted them, and put them on on Instagram and everything. It really is. It's something that you really do need to see. It's nice, and it's just a really cool thing for a veteran to get to do.
And I think it's on the guide map. I haven't looked at one in a while, but if it's not, it should be. It's
definitely listed on.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. Today, and just looking at the Magic Kingdom, it's the schedule I think I was looking at. It's on there. It's listed.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I mean, and I when I get so bummed out sometimes when I stand there and I watch it, and you see people kind of just walking by.
Yeah, I know.
Like, all right, I got to get to my dinner reservation here, or I'm tired. I'm gonna go back to the hotel, and just kind of blowing past everything and thinking, can you just wait like 30 seconds maybe, just to hang tight for a second?
Yeah.
It's
but
a
that's throwback to like the to Disneyland, really, to Walt Disney, who was like such a so proud to be an American, and that's kind of what that is. It's a really neat thing to see. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, so after the fourth pick in the third round, we're going to start off the
round 4.
Round. Yeah, last round. Allie, you're up. You were last pick of the draft.
Okay, well, you'll know I'm not a sports person because I saved the best for last, and I think you're supposed to do it the other way around in the draft, but whatever. I'm going to end up with Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. Because here's the thing. That's what that man was all about. It was where the idea of Epcot came from. It was what he strove for. I mean, it's always about the next great thing, right? And that attraction to me is such a beautiful picture of idealized family life throughout the century. And it's 20 minutes. It's a beautiful show with a great song by the Sherman Brothers. And it just makes me happy. So that's my show.
Yeah, that's another one I do. It's a bummer that it's seasonal. It's open seasonally because that's one I try to do every single time I'm at the Magic Kingdom. I love it too. It's Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress, right? So it's definitely a nod to the guy who started it all. It's a really fun show, and it's dated. The future scene has the virtual reality and all that in it, but yeah, it's still a great show. I think it stands the test of time.
I was talking to my wife about that scene the other day. It's funny you brought that up. So she was talking about how that scene got kind of refreshed in the 90s,
right.
And she said, what's interesting is she said the daughter is wearing a cable knit sweater in that scene. She says that's coming back now. So I was like, wow. Just all you gotta do is let it sit there, and because now virtual reality. Have you seen the commercials with Wesley Snipes and Lil Wayne? They're doing virtual reality. Yeah, it's coming back.
Disney's
Disney's a genius. Yeah, exactly. Disney's genius. They just say, it's going to come back. Just wait.
They're way ahead of their time.
That's a great addition. I'm always floored by the fact that they put that show together in the early 1960s, and there is so much going on. All of the animatronics, the fact that the music has to fit these different styles and time periods and times as the theater rotates. But in the end, it just comes together as a really fun show. So that's a great pick, Allie.
Yeah, I know you like it.
It's a personal favorite.
All right, so from I'm not going to go very far actually for my pick, for my last pick. No, it's not my last.
Did you not skip Herb?
Herb. I'm skipping you on purpose. You're done. No, I'm kidding. I just thought that was your pick, and there's something wrong with me. So Herb, you're up for your last pick.
All right, so I'm going to make a last-minute substitution, and hopefully I'll be stealing yours, Phil. But we'll see. Since I didn't really think about shows before, but I'm going to put one in now, and I'm going to put in the Main Street USA Trolley Show. Kind of like how you don't want people to just walk by the flags retreat ceremony. I hate when people just rush by the Main Street USA Trolley Show. It is great music. It sets the scene. They're incredible dancers. I just think it's a perfect way to start your day going into the Magic Kingdom.
I like how they change it seasonally too.
Yeah,
it's neat to see how they do like a springtime show and then the summertime. The holiday show's neat. I like how they kind of wrap that in there as well. The costumes change with the seasons, and the show changes a little bit.
Yeah, we have that on it's weird. That song, Walking Right Down the Middle of Main Street, they had that on all the like official Walt Disney World albums from, I don't know, they came out years ago. But that was on a DVD that my sister had when she was a kid. We're talking early 90s. It was like the Disneyland. It wasn't a DVD, actually. It was a VHS tape, and then they put it out on DVD later. But they had the song, Walking Right Down the Middle of Main Street, USA, and they play that in the show. And it's such a cool thing for like my family and I to go through. We get there, and that's something that we always have to stop and see. It's a really fun little show. And, yeah, it is kind of like if you didn't know it was there, you might walk right past it. It's a great little thing, great little show, and it's just adds to like that, turn of the century kind of feel of Main Street.
Yeah.
Phil, correct me if I'm wrong. Do they play that when you're running down Main Street during the half marathon?
Yeah, I know they have a loop of songs that they play.
Because I'm pretty sure that was playing when I ran through the Magic Kingdom last month, but I was a little bit loopy, so who knows?
Yeah, when I was running down Main Street in January, I had Eminem on in the background, so I don't know what song was playing.
Talk about a juxtaposition of
yeah, it didn't really
personalities.
Fit. It didn't really fit. And then by the time I got to the hub, I took my earbuds out and kind of listened to the ambient sounds of the park. But I forgot. I was so caught up in a moment. And then I had Till I Collapse by Eminem playing in the background. And I was like, oh, man. And you're like really running as fast as you can down Main Street. And I kind of missed the entire thing. But, yeah, that's a really cool pick. And I'm excited. I thought we were going to get just all – like the headliners and straight attractions on this list, and I'm happy that you guys went different ways with it.
Right on.
So now it's my turn, right? Yes. So I'm going to actually change my answer too, because I have one attraction, but I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go to Storybook Circus and go with Dumbo, the Flying Elephant. Let me tell you why. Dumbo's like this really cool, not really cool, let's be honest. It's an old Disney attraction that really hadn't changed for years in the Magic Kingdom. It was the same old. You get there, people, did the dash to Dumbo in the morning with their kids. They waited in the hot sun to get on a ride that you spin around for 30 seconds. But what the Imagineers did with it when they moved it to Storybook Circus and added the second Dumbo attraction, I think completely changed the whole experience. Now you get to wait. When you get in line, you get to wait with like a pager. It's air conditioned. As a parent, you could sit inside, let your kids play around on a playground inside, and then you get to wait for your turn to ride. And then to top it all off, they changed the whole look of the attraction with the water effects and the lights at night. And I just think it's a really fun attraction to do now. It went from being kind of something that you could ride at a state fair or carnival to being something that we don't miss on trips when we go now. So Dumbo for me, I think that's going to round out my draft.
I think you can kind of echo Allie's comment about Dumbo, where she said about the Astro Orbiters with Dumbo too. You can see some really cool vantage points from up there. Not as good as the Astro Orbiter vantage point, but in terms of Fantasyland and Storybook Circus. So if you're an amateur photographer, also that's some cool stuff some cool shots you can take from up there.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, definitely
And
wanted
it's
to check
a
out
great place
sorry,
for the kiddos. No, sorry, Herb. But yeah, I was just going to say we took my son when he was not quite 2, and my mom was with us, and he would just go in there and stay forever.
Yeah.
We rode Seven Dwarfs, and we rode Space Mountain, and he just played in Dumbo with the mom.
Just dump the kids off. Go have your fun.
Pretty much. Wait, what else would you do?
All right. So we are going to the last pick of the last round. Mr. Shortsleeve, it's up to you.
All right. I got to say, I'm proud that no one has taken any of my 4 choices so far. I have a perfect record here. And so this is my last of my 4 choices for my friend to take their kid. The Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. Now, here's why.
Solid.
This is a low tech attraction in terms of comparing it to something like Enchanted Tales with Belle. It's an attraction that a lot of people blow past because they want to go hit the Jungle Cruise or the Pirates of the Caribbean. A lot of people think it's old school, it's old Disney, it's some of the original stuff. They've seen it once and they're done. Not me. I like this because it is a low tech attraction. It's not too overwhelming. I like the fact that it immerses you into a story that. If you think about the movie, the characters, they had to use creativity, the problem solving, teamwork to build this amazing structure for them to live in and to keep out of the elements and to keep safe. It screams imagination, like in imagination in the purest form. And I like this, and the reason I'm recommending it to not only to my friend but to anyone else is to. I think this is a great inspiration for kids because to say, look, if you can build stuff, you can go outside and play and do things. You don't have to sit around, the television and watch TV or play video games all day. Go outside and have some fun and go build a treehouse. Like you saw that this was Family Robinson do it. You can do that, right? I think it's neat to kind of demonstrate how much fun you can have, and I like watching my kids look at it and say, this, and kind of explain the story. They've seen the film, or 2 of them have seen the film, and say, this is part of that story, and this is where they lived, and to look at them kind of like soak it in. And I will say this, a little manner of etiquette for this attraction. This is not an official manner of etiquette. This is just my own Mr. Shortsleeve. Hey, this is how I do it. You are going to see people in this attraction who have stepped foot in and go, well, I'm too far gone to go back. And they just want to blow through it. Yeah. Let them go past you. Don't feel like if you've got somebody tailgating you on this one, that you got to hurry up too. Just say, you know what, I'm sorry, I need another minute to just kind of watch. Please feel free to go around me. The walkways are narrow. I know someone's going to say, oh, but it's too tight. No, just kind of lean over the edge a little bit and risk a little bit of life and limb doing it. But just let them go. Let them go past and take your time with this one because there's so many details that they put into this attraction. And it's really worth your time just to spend a couple minutes. You won't need more than 10 minutes just to walk through it. But it is a neat attraction. I highly recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, you're never going to wait. You just walk right on, you walk right through. And there's a lot of cool picture opportunities in there too. Like we were talking about places to take like unique like shots of the park and
one year during the Halloween party, I was up there at the top, one of the top decks up there, taking pictures of the fireworks because no one was up there. And I thought, this is no one's going to have this vantage point. And it's an awesome. I don't recommend everyone doing that because now everyone's going to clog it up. Yeah. But if it is a cool spot, you can catch a neat view of Cinderella's castle from one of the decks up there. If you want to take some cool pictures.
Yeah, you can. You really can. All right, so all the picks are in. Here, the teams are set, and of course, without even needing to, look at the votes, I obviously put together the best team. No, I really do want to hear what people think. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put all our picks in the show notes on my website and the Facebook page, and see if anyone has any thoughts as to who, put together the best team. Thanks again, guys, for being on with me, and you guys are all now like longtime veterans of the podcast, and I appreciate you coming on, and I'm really grateful that you guys spent your time with me tonight.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, thank you. And so real quickly, Allie, I know you guys are doing really cool things with your business at Chad Miller Auto Care, and you guys are the top-rated shop in all of San Antonio these days. So
we like to think so.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anyone's listening and is anywhere near the San Antonio area, that's exactly where you guys should be taking your car for service. So thanks a lot, Allie. I really appreciate you coming on again.
Anytime.
Yeah, and Johnny, thank you again for coming on. And if people want to find out more about you or what you're up to, where do they go?
Oh, man, I'm wrangling my hands right now. I got something new and juicy right around the corner. It's coming out next week. And you can find out all the details about what's going on at facebook.com/Johnny Shortsleeve, JOHNNY. And there's some cool stuff. I don't want to spoil it right now. I want people to go see this with their own eyes on Facebook. It's going to be really neat. I'm excited about it. It's a fun thing that we're doing here. So please come hang out with me over there, say hello, and love to hear your thoughts on what we're doing on this new exciting venture.
All right, cool, man. Well, I'll be checking it out as soon as you put all that stuff up. And Herb, thanks for coming back on the podcast. And thank you again for allowing me to sponsor your podcast and be a part of what you're doing. I really, really appreciate that. So if people are trying to, find you or read or listen to more of you, where do they go?
They can find fun Disney stuff over at worldofwalt.com, articles, podcasts, and forum. And Phil, thanks for your sponsorship of the site.
Yeah, no problem, Herb. It's been a lot of fun, and a lot of, I've gotten a lot of friendships out of this, and it's been a really cool experience so far. So thank you guys all for being on with me, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Right. And what about your plug, man? What if my friends want to know, say, this Disney vacation planning thing, this thing is tough. I want someone to do it for me.
I don't like, me, I don't like to talk about myself at all.
plug. Want me to plug you? Should I plug it?
Yes. Why
all right, man.
Why don't you do that for me?
Yeah. So let me just say this. Hey, if you're going to go out there and plan a Disney vacation, it's not easy. I'm going to tell you right. Yes, they have the website you can go, but there's a million things you can choose from: dining options, resort hotels. What are you going to do? Deluxe, moderate? I don't know. That's a lot. That's too many choices. I just want to relax. That's why you go to Phil. Phil is going to be your man to take care of your vacation needs. You've got to talk to him. Free, no obligation quote. You can find in the link in the show notes. It's easy. It's even easy to get him right here. Phil is the man who's going to make all of your dreams come true, make you have the best possible vacation. That's it right there. No ifs, ands, or buts. I give you the full endorsement.
Dude, I couldn't have said it better myself.
I second that emotion, because I'm not just a podcaster, I'm also a client.
And now I'm running the hair club for men. Thank you guys so much for being on. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Right on.
All right, see you guys. Bye-bye. That'll do it for this week's episode of the Ear to There podcast. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you had as much fun listening as we had talking about this topic. If you enjoyed the podcast, please check out the blog over at eartotheretravel.com. It's full of interesting articles, fun stories, Disney recommendations, and a lot more. You can also head over there to request your free, no obligation quote for your Disney vacation. I'd love to help you plan your next trip to any Disney destination, and remember, my services are always free of charge. Thanks again for listening, and watch out next week for the newest episode of the Ear to There podcast. Have a great week. Bye-bye.